Good morning, and thanks for taking time to join me for a cup of coffee today. It's such a cold and blustery morning here in Oklahoma on this Tuesday morning as we prepare for Lent and the season of Easter. We're coming through a major snowstorm, and I hope all of you are staying safe and warm. But as I was thinking about Ash Wednesday tomorrow and the beginning of Lent, I was thinking about the practice that so many of us Christians have of giving something up for Lent. It is a very meaningful way to prepare our hearts for the coming of Easter. It reminded me of a friend of mine who once quipped when I was visiting with him years ago. When I said, "What are you giving up?" He said, "Well, this year I'm giving up things for Lent." I've thought about that a lot through the years, and I've thought, sometimes there are things that we need to give up. A bad habit, something that's standing in the way of our relationship with God, something that's keeping us from becoming the whole person that God wants us to be. But there's other times when rather than giving things up, there's something we need to take on, something we need to do differently to grow deeper in our faith. Maybe it's to make a special gift or to go and visit someone. Maybe it's to do some kind of act of service or kindness, loving our neighbors without exception. Whether we choose this Ash Wednesday to give something up or to take something on for the sake of growing in our faith, I believe what's most important is that we do that with the right motivations in our hearts. That we do so not to impress others, not even to just fulfill our own goals, but so that it becomes an act of growing closer to God. That it helps to deepen our faith, to deepen our relationship with Christ, and to make that even more meaningful during this season. It reminded me so much when I was pondering this of a passage from Matthew chapter 6 that you'll recognize. It says, "Be careful not to do your acts of righteousness before men to be seen by them, for if you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. But when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets, to be honored by men. I tell you the truth, they've received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. And when you pray, don't be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by men. I tell you the truth, they've received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. And then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, don't keep babbling like the pagans, for they will be heard because of their words. Do not be like them, for the Father knows what you need before you ask him." Implicit in that wonderful passage is a truth that I think is important for all of us to understand. And that is that when we make a commitment to God, to give something up or to take something on, that truly it's the act of humility and sacrifice, of service, and of looking beyond ourselves that helps to show the motivations of our heart. And when we do that with a pure heart and a desire to grow closer to God, God will reward us. I don't know what that reward looks like. I just know that God will be faithful to us when we're faithful to him. And I pray that as you're praying about your Ash Wednesday and your season of Lent, that you'll open up your heart and your mind this day to what God wants you to do. I pray God's blessings upon you. Stay safe and warm. Look forward to seeing you soon.